follow Black Boss on Instagram at blackboss_certified. Today, we are here with owner of the Born Leader Family brand, international elite basketball trainer, and before all of this, one of the top ball players in Philadelphia, Tasheed Carr. How you doing, Tasheed?
I'm doing very, very well. I'm actually here in the gym now. Early morning, been here since 7 o'clock. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Awesome. So could you tell us what you felt? Because I know you kind of have a story of transition, which I think is incredible because it's something that, needs to happen in life. You sometimes you just got to pivot. So could you tell us what you felt your original life goal was and how it transitioned to being where you are today?
I was just, a kid growing up in West Philly, just like any other kid, playing basketball young, having a dream of playing in the NBA, having a dream of playing basketball for money. Obviously, I spent most of my time and most of my days doing that. So I thought I was going to make it in that. So I thought my life goal, my life purpose was, to be an NBA player. Growing up, that's all I could actually think about. And, I didn't know what it actually took to get there, but I just knew I was going to make it. So I was just like any typical kid growing up, trying to make it to the NBA.
Okay, cool. So how about it transitioning to where you are today? Could you tell a little bit of that story?
Yeah, so, obviously I played basketball. I was, pretty good. I wouldn't say I was, really good because, I look back at myself, there's a lot of things I could have worked on, a lot of things I could have been better at. But so, I just, I thought about, after basketball, I played a few years overseas. I played a few years in the NBA Development League. And I just realized that, I did have success playing basketball, but, that why, I was a basketball player, that wasn't all of who I was. So I just did some real deep digging just to find out, what was really my life purpose? What made me happy? What was something that I could do every day of my life, whether I was going to make money or not? And I just realized that I had a true passion for not only just training kids, but just kids in general and helping kids, where I'm from, just be better, just understand, give them information, help them, kind of not make the same mistakes, the same kind of ways that we did it. So, once I realized what my life purpose was, I just, but that was about 4 or 5 years ago, around 30, my 30 years old birthday. Around that time, I realized what my life purpose was, and I just took off with it, and I've been running with it ever since.
That's awesome. So Tasheed, could you tell us, I guess, all the things that you do, that you're into?
First and foremost, I'm a mentor before anything. I'm really known in the area as a basketball trainer, a development guy. But I like to look at myself as just a life coach first and foremost, because for me, it's really bigger than basketball. My message through basketball is always one bigger than basketball. It's always one that's trying to help the kids' souls grow, that's trying to help their minds grow, and just try to help them get prepared for the future. So that's first and foremost. So I mentor, tons of kids. In addition to that, I do basketball training. I actually myself and my partner, one of my longtime friends, opened a basketball facility, which was an old church in North Philadelphia on 19th and Tioga.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing, some real, some training, basketball training, and I've probably trained over about 250 kids in the area. Wow. So, that's like a business of mine, and that's just something I really enjoy doing. And just kind of, indulging in the nonprofit world a little bit and things of that nature. But my main thing is just trying to make a difference in everybody's life that I come in contact with.
Yeah. Okay. So I've heard you say before, and you kind of got into saying it now about that purpose and passion piece. I watched one of your videos. Oh, I have to say as well. I watched a couple of your videos, and I want you to know you can't curse on here, brother. So that's
right.
if you want You know, if it touches your spirit to get your point across, go forth.
Say no more.
Yeah. So I've heard you say that basketball, in one of your videos, that basketball is not your purpose and passion. So in a sport where the goal seems to get into the NBA, how are you able to identify your purpose and passion outside of playing in the NBA and continue to thrive?
Well, it was tough. I mean, it was some real dig deep. And I mean, I honestly, knowing what I know now, I know that my soul was just yearning, to find that purpose. And I just feel like I was blessed to be able to truly recognize it, and not only that, but have myself in a position to actually, do the things that, I felt as though, was my purpose, and that's the kind of thing. So it was tough. I wanted, I'll tell anybody, I found it out, and I realized my purpose was because I truly wanted to. I truly wanted to, realize and find out, what was I really put on this earth for? I really wanted to be happy. I really wanted to be happy every single day. So, I tell people like from young kids to adults, if you truly want to find out, something about yourself and who you are, just start to ask those questions, and those questions and those answers and start to find you. So through that, my soul, I did some deep soul searching, and I realized that I was only put on this earth to help these kids be better and give what I've gotten and my knowledge and my experiences to these young kids and help the next generation of kids grow.
Awesome. Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So you really have to have your advice is to really be intentional about finding your purpose and passion. It'll come to you.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you should be intentional about everything in life. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that everything is intentional. I think whatever you give your energy to is whatever transpires in your life. So yeah, everything is intentional in my life. Obviously, I didn't always feel like that, but through digging, trying to realize who I was through my soul. That's what I realized, that there is no coincidence. Your life is set up purposely, and you're the one who set it up on purpose. So I had to realize that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Okay, so you've had the opportunity to work with and have access to some very notable NBA players and up and coming NBA players. What value do you feel you bring to these spaces that's unique to you?
First of all, it's a blessing to be able to be in those kind of situations. I have a lot of, friends that play basketball. But I think for me, my value is always, first and foremost, is just to help people's spirits and souls grow. I think that anybody who I'm around, I try to bring that. I think that's the most valuable thing you can ever do for a person.
I love that. Yeah.
So that's first and foremost. But I think when it comes to athletes, in addition to just like the technical stuff, like as far as basketball, I think that I'm a master at helping people confidence grow. Believing in yourself. And helping these young kids not only be confident on the court, but I think that all translate off the court. Walking with your head held high. Being proud of who you are. Owning your mistakes, taking ownership. So those are the kind of things that I always bring. Whoever I'm around, I'll always try to be true to them and try to give them an element of truth. Sometimes it don't always work out because everybody don't love it, but everybody don't like it, but they'll love it for themselves once they realize that is the best thing for themselves. So I just try to bring, be real and be intentional, with whoever I'm around, and just help everybody soul grow. And I think that's the best thing you can ever do for a person, like I said.
Yeah.
Move! Yeah, you go.
Yeah. And I 100% agree with you. And something I can already see about you, and even this short time of speaking to you, is your authenticity and really your care. So that's
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very good. So
sorry guys, I'm in the gym too. I'm a multitasker. I do it all. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I was like, the grind don't stop. So your first post to your Born Leader family Instagram, I went back and saw it. Actually came on May 7th, 2015. May 7th was actually my mom's birthday, so I appreciate it.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So what do you remember about that time in 2015, and what was your mission at hand?
So at that time I was just like really kicking my brand off, just trying to figure out how I was just going to just start to get brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like starting to build, we had myself and a couple of my friends had some great ideas, but now we're just trying to start to figure out what's the best way to build it.
Right.
So just started just getting started, just winging it, one day at a time, just kind of putting some things together. But I always knew that at that point I kind of knew that it was all going to be about the kids. It was all going to be surrounded with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular time, I was working for my friend who played in the NBA at that time. So I was living out Sacramento, like coming back and forth. So that's where I was at in 2015. And 5 years later, all of it, is all. But honestly, I always knew from the beginning that it was all going to come all the way around, because I believe that your intentions are always going to be rewarded. So if you got good intentions, you'll always have great results.
Yeah. Okay. So when did the Born Leader Family brand come into existence, and what is the message behind the brand and merchandise?
So Born Leader Family is tatted on my arm. So I had got it in college when I was 18 years old. 19 years old. I always thought of myself as a leader. So on all my teams, I was always a leader. I was always, the guy who, galvanized the guys, and, just, being that guy who always take ownership and leadership of what's going on. And even when I was like growing up, just coming up on the streets, it was the same way. I was a leader of some bad shit too. So I always thought that I was, born to be a leader. Always thought that, that was who I was. And a lot of people always referred to me as that. So about 15 years ago, it was just like, oh, I'm a born leader. I didn't think about it as a brand yet. But the message behind it going forward is just like to build young leaders all throughout, throughout the country, through basketball, using basketball as a tool to get the message of integrity out, to get the message of authenticity out, to get the message of, entrepreneurship out, to get those messages, things that I think that's truly important, for me to grow my brand so I can, really start to talk about the soul and help, me reach, so I intentionally try to reach people's souls. Like I said before, that's the best thing I think you can do for a person. So that's what the brand is about. It's about using sports, using basketball, using shiny things to get the kids together, to get close, to bring them in, and really give them a message of authenticity, leadership, integrity, values, morals, all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you're out here, man. Seriously, I mean, even that soul piece, like, I'll throw a second in about me. I'm actually a therapist. That's what I went to school for. But I enjoy, I'm a behavioral health therapist. I work in childhood trauma. So kids are very close to my heart too, for the same exact reason, that you're saying. It's getting that soul piece. It's always the joy for me what a person can be when you reach their soul. So to hear you say that it's amazing. It's amazing. If you can choose to speak to this or not, it's just something that I heard in your video. I know that you said that you actually went to therapy at a point in time in your transition. Could you speak briefly about, because I know that can still be a stigma in the Black community with Black men going to therapy. Could you speak to that a little bit?
No, for sure. I'm always willing to speak on that because I truly understand how important it is. So I just going through some of my traumas in life and going through some of my experiences in life, understanding trauma, understanding behavioral health, kind of like going through those things and understanding. I knew coming from where we come from that, we have been suffering from trauma. There are some things that we have been suffering from. So, and I also understand like how those things can hold you back. from you know, really growing and being who you can ultimately be. So I, you know, at first it was just one of those things where, you know, I always like to talk, but I never really want to talk about, you know, that kind of stuff with people. And I just like manned up. I just really manned up and just realized like, yo, the only way I'm gonna grow to where I want to go is if I really understand, you know, where I came from and who I was. And so like, you know, fortunately I understood it. And like I said, it was years. I just manned up. I did it. I seeked out, you know, a few people, talked to a few people. I found like, you know, actually with the two different people, one man, one woman. I just realized, and I just found out who I could talk to, and it was very helpful. I took a look back at my past. You know, I realized, you know, what were some of the traumas, what were some of the things that was holding me back, what were some of my triggers in life, why I act certain ways, why I responded certain ways to certain things, and I just, you know, it helped me a lot. You know, helped me just kind of talk about it and just get it off my chest, and you know, get better with it. And you know, I realized I always knew, but I realized the only way you grow is if you get through that kind of stuff. Like there's no way you can grow is if you don't go back and kind of fix those things. Unfortunately, we have to go through those things. So I mean, yo, a lot of people be asking me to kind of like be an advocate for that kind of stuff, but it's like, I mean, I will, I love it, but I mean, that's just really not like what I want to do. I'm just willing to be transparent. You know, that because I know that it really helped men, and I know that our men, you know, really suffer from it. Like, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, younger men and growing up to even older men. I'm 35 years old, so I know there's men that never talk to nobody about nothing. You know what I mean? That suffered their whole life, you know what I mean, through that trauma, you know what I mean? And as a result, you know, generations of kids that suffer. So it's just like a cycle that, and particularly with me having 3 daughters and 1 son, that's most important. I didn't want to carry my traumas in my life, you know, to them. I wanted to, you know, understand how to deal with them best. You know what I mean? And that was really what was important to me.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem at all.
Like that was worth $1 million for our community. Just that message coming from you, coming from someone who's so well respected and something that so many Black males look to get into. To hear that message from you is thank you for that. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
That's incredible. So tell us about City Athletics and the thought process behind it.
Well, so I've been training for years. You know, doing kids, and I've had a pretty nice following. Myself and my friend, who's not really a basketball guy, this business, you know, we always had the idea of like, and we understand how lucrative it would be. We understand what it would do for the community. We understand, you know, how it could help us grow, you know, as businessmen, as entrepreneurs. So, you know, and I, you know, me with my brand growing, with us trying to, you know, do programming for the community, we just realized that, you know, that'd be a great investment. So we just took our money. We found a building, which was an old church. You know, as people can see, it's really an old church. It was gutted out. We did the general contracting. We put the course down, and we just, you know, went forward with it. But like I said, we realized that we knew it was going to be really big, and we was kind of surprised that, you know, guys haven't really done stuff like this in the past. So we just really wanted to bring an element of something that, you know, nobody has, you know, haven't done that would be very beneficial for our guys. So that was kind of the thought process behind City Athletics. And, you know, we're about 80% through. We'll have a grand opening the last weekend in February. And, you know, just try to, you know, offer something for the community and a safe haven for these young kids to really, you know, just grow and get better.
That's awesome. Okay. So this show is about, you know, a celebration of Black entrepreneurship. So what is it like to be a Black entrepreneur in your industry at this time?
I mean, for me, it's wonderful. I mean, for me, I wouldn't have it all the way. I don't believe in, you know, while I don't have no problem with a job, I don't believe in working for anybody. So I just think that all Black men should, you know, be entrepreneurs or work towards that and, you know, build, you know, not only for ourselves, but for me, it's really about just my kids. It's really about, you know, helping establishing them in life to whereas though they can just have it a little easier than we had it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, you know, we as Black men, we've been deprived of, you know, wealth so long that it's a perfect opportunity. Things, you know, the business opportunities in this country and just in the world we're living in is limitless. So I just feel like, you know, as a man, as a Black man, coming from, you know, poor and just not having shit, that is essential that we got to, you know, build some kind of generational wealth. You know what I mean? So it's not really about me. You know, like I said, I love the freedom. You know, I'm a Sagittarius man, so I don't really like nobody telling me. That's good. I don't really like. I don't like nobody telling me what to do, as you know. So, you know, I feel like it's essential for all Black men, for, you know, not just for us though, for the next generation, for our kids, for the people that's gonna come after us, and show these kids, you know what I mean, you know, a better way. Because we know, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real. I always tell people, you know, I don't know too many people that work a 9 to 5 that's actually happy every day. I don't know. Like, somebody can tell me different, but all the people I've met in my life, I don't know too many people that come home after they 9 to 5 and be happy as shit. Yeah. So yeah.
You speaking today, Tasheed. You're right, though. I was about to say, I would agree with you. I would agree with you. So what do you really want for kids to learn from your journey?
I want kids to learn from my journey that first and foremost, I want the kids that play sports to understand that sports is no sport is never your final destination. So while we're playing sports, no matter how good you are, no matter how good you're not, that it's always more than that. You're always bigger than just a sports player. You're always bigger than just a basketball player. But just in general, I just want them to understand, you know, particularly, you know, just any kid is, you know, the only way you grow is if you really take accountability and ownership over yourself and your life and the decisions that you make. So, you know what I mean? You're in control of everything. And I try to really preach, you know, karma, understanding good karma, bad karma, and just really, you know, just really speaking to their souls and just try to help, at the end of the day, try to help them understand that, you know, as they're going through their journeys, that everybody is, you know, different, like, and everybody is unique. But, you know, be conscious, try to be conscious, even young through your journey, and it'll serve you well, you know what I'm saying, later on. So that's really my overall message.
Awesome. That's awesome. So Tasheed, it has truly been my pleasure, sir. It really,
I appreciate
really
that. I appreciate that.
Sure. So is there anything, any question that I didn't ask you that you would want to, did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay. that you would want to, you know, share. Is there anything that I was unable to bring out of you that you wanted to impart upon people?
Well, yeah, I mean, so you didn't ask me about none of the bad shit that happened in my life. So I want to talk about that because, you know, so often people just be fake and acting like everything be all good.
Absolutely. Hard time come.
So, you know, I just want to let, especially any kids that's going to see this, let them know. It's like, you can get through anything. You know what I mean? Obviously, we went through a lot of stuff when we grow, you know, as a young kid. But, you know, a few years ago, about 6 years ago, I put myself in a horrible situation. I was dealing marijuana, selling large quantities of marijuana. I got caught with marijuana, with money, and all that kind of stuff. I was facing a felony, and I was very, very, very fortunate to get up out that situation. I had some friends in some great places. And I like to tell that story because I know that everybody won't be as fortunate. I know that, oh shit, I didn't know that I get deja. Hold on, this is my sister. What's up, D? I want to interview real quick. No, it's cool. No, they can wait for you. Hold on. Yo, my bad. I know who I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's my sis right there. So, so you know, I like to tell people that. So, you know, I was facing a felony. But I like to tell people that because like I was just fucking lucky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, fortunate because I knew people, but everybody not gonna know people. Everybody not gonna be able to get out of those situations. So make better decisions than, you know, what I did, because, you know, I want to work with kids. I want to do so many things in my life. And, you know, obviously, you know, weed is not like a felony now.
Right.
But back then, it was, you know, it could have been bad for me. So just make better decisions. My daughter's calling me like crazy. Make better decisions. So I like to be transparent about that kind of stuff, because I just can't do the fake shit. People come on this kind of stuff, or come on any platform and just talk about all the great shit they do. But it's like, yo, through all that great shit, the only way I can get to this is that I had to persevere through some bad shit. I had to get through some fucked up times to get through here. So I like to talk about that too. So that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, absolutely. So to piggyback off of that, because I love your transparency and everything that you have to offer. I know during entrepreneurship, and even speaking about the bad times of things, how have you learned to move past different fears and trials to continue to do what you do?
Well, I have no fears. I have no fears because I lead with my soul. So I know that my soul is never. My soul know what my mind can't conceive. So, you know, once you lead with your soul, and once you make all your decisions and you let your soul guide you, you can never be wrong. It's always going to be right. So I try to truly live like that. I try to live my life pure enough so my soul can talk to me, you know, at all times, so I can always walk through the right door. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how I approach it.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay, Tasheed. So when I started Black Boss, I used to do it in person, but because of COVID, you know, we have to do it over Zoom now because that's, you know, people feel more comfortable that way. But at the end of the interview, I will always have people say their name and say, and I'm a Black Boss. So if you could do that, that would be great.
My name's Tasheed Carr, and I'm a fucking Black Boss.
I love it. Okay, Tasheed, where can the people find you?
IG Bornly the Family, email bornlythefamily@gmail.com, and just hit me up on IG. I don't even really do the internet stuff. I'm setting all that stuff up now. I really do authentic stuff, but I'll be on that sometimes. So if you got a kid that want to be a part of the program or anything, just hit me up. Text me too. I got a public business number, 267-320-9000. So I'm always available. I'm always around. I'm always outside. So just get with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tasheed. I was about to say you're literally in the middle of what you're discussing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your journey. I appreciate your confidence and your willingness to share so many important things that I find are still sometimes difficult for us to share in the Black community. And I hope that, you know, from your transparency, there's a lot to learn, and there's a shift in perception for a lot of black men, women, boys, and girls. So thank you. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Anytime, all the time.
All right, Tasheed, take care, man. I was about to say, continue to do what you do. I appreciate it.
Email me this recording too. It's wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
All right, cool.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
What's up, good?
This has been Black Boss. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Tasheed Carr. Amazing interview. I learned something. I feel inspired, which is why I love doing this. So for the full episodes or full episodes of other Black Bosses, they will be up on YouTube series. Follow us on Instagram at BlackBoss_certified, and take care. Love you guys. Peace.